So, Power Book 2 Go Season 2 Episode 6 is finally here, and it's been a long 2 weeks, but I definitely enjoy doing the character analysis videos because it definitely gave us a lot more time to really look closely at all the big players in a lot more detail. So the foundation has been set, and now it's all about looking forward to Episode 6 to 10. And this is something that LaToya teased, the actor who plays Diana. She tweeted after Episode 4, "Remember when I said there's a ton of twists and turns that the fans won't be able to guess? This is one of them. Zeke is our half-brother." And notice how she said, this is just one of the twists, so we can definitely expect a lot more. And one of the twists that I went through is how I think Cane potentially may not be Monet's son, based on his date of birth not matching up. But let's wait and see, because we all know Power love to manipulate us into thinking one thing, and then they do the complete opposite, so definitely expect more of that. But let's get into the synopsis for Episode 6, before we dive into all the storylines for each of the characters. Now Episode 6 is titled What's Free, and the synopsis reads, Tariq reflects on where he is in his life and who he can trust. Brayden must decide whether to protect his family or help save Tariq's, while Monet is faced with a new world order within her own family. So there is only one place to start, and that's with Tariq, as we're going to pick up with him in Tariq. But as we've all seen from this teaser, he is going to be released. It's going to happen either at the end of Episode 6 or in Episode 7. And I was really kind of hoping that he spent a lot more time in jail, but it does seem like it's going to be a very short stay. But while he is in there, he's going to have to think long and hard about the chess moves that he's going to make, because as the synopsis tells us, he's going to have to reflect on where he currently is and base his next moves on his current situation. And where he is at this moment, he can't trust anyone, and he'll definitely be plotting his revenge when he comes out of jail. But before he is released, he'll need the help of a few familiar faces, and one of them will be Cooper Saxe in my opinion. And I did mention that Cooper Saxe, he's had a bit of a turn in character, and he's gone from trying to catch the St. Patrick's to now working for them. And this is one of the promo images from Episode 6, with what looks like Saxe visiting Tariq in a jail cell. And Shane Johnson, who plays Cooper Saxe, even said, "And now I'm going to find myself in a position where I might actually have to be protecting Tariq, and so it's kind of like flipping the script and really questioning my ethics and what I'm willing to do." And the problem for Tariq is, he doesn't trust Cooper Saxe. He will always have that doubt in the back of his mind because of their history and what they've been through. And let's not forget, the people that Tariq is having to put his trust in, which is Maclean and Cooper Saxe, they're the same people that were working together in Season 1 to put him in jail to free Maclean's client, Tasha. So you can understand Tariq being a little hesitant to put his trust in anyone, and this is why we'll see him probably approach it to Mecca, which I don't think will happen until Episode 7. But no doubt, he will still need the help of a lot more powerful people around him, because at the end of the day, he's got no choice. So Cooper Saxe, Maclean, Tamika, Simon Stern and Rashad Tate, all of them will play a part in their own ways. And you can bet he's going to be using the help of Rashad Tate, because this was a teaser that was released not too long ago, with Tate visiting Tariq in jail. And Tariq basically saw the photo album, which I made reference to a few times, and if Rashad Tate wants Tariq's help, then he needs to help him get him out of jail. So we're going to see how much Rashad Tate really wants that seat at the table. But one thing he'll definitely realize is how Brayden lied to him, and he'll be confronting Brayden either at the end of Episode 6 or in Episode 7, and he's going to have a lot of making up to do. As the synopsis tells us, Brayden must decide whether to protect his family or help save Tariq's. And what's clear is, Brayden working with Cane without telling Tariq was wrong on Brayden's part, because that ended up with Tariq being behind bars because of the badge that Cane planted in their room. And eventually I do think they will work things out, but to do this, Brayden needs to admit he messed up, and they need to start being open and honest with each other, especially Brayden, because Brayden's actions this season were caused by him not feeling like Tariq's equal, and he needs to tell Tariq this. He needs to tell him how he feels. But eventually, I do think when push comes to shove, Brayden will choose Tariq and prove his loyalty to him, because he'll want to make things up to him. But how is he going to do this? Now, Brayden has pledged Kappa, and I think he'll be able to help Tariq get dirt on Rick Sweeney, and this is where I think Brayden's loyalty to Tariq will show. So I think we're going to see a combination of Brayden and Effie really holding it down for Tariq, and hopefully a lot more of Effie as well, because we've hardly seen her playing a role in the first half of the season. So I do think the best is definitely to come with her character. But with Tariq in jail, Brayden stepping up is a must, and I think with Lorenzo now out of jail and him taking the reins back from Monet, he's going to want to know who Monet's exactly been doing business with, and that means meeting Tariq and Brayden. So I think we could see Lorenzo meeting Brayden, because the teaser did show Brayden meeting someone, but it didn't show who. So it could be Cane, Lorenzo, or even Monet. But one thing's for sure, he's gonna have to step up in Tariq's absence. But moving on to Lorenzo, this is one of the promo images that were released in the last couple of days of him and Cane, and we're gonna see how he moves for the first time. let's not forget, he's still been running things from the inside, but Monet's still been doing things her own way, on the outside, and planning her own exit strategy, which didn't include him, and her kids playing different positions to what Lorenzo would have them play. So I think we're going to start to see the beginning of this Tejada split, and this trust issue between the two. I'm sure we're going to see this homecoming, and this is something that Courtney Kemp teased, with how we're going to see more of Lorenzo's family. He's going to be dancing and enjoying time with his favourite girl, who helped free him. But the question is, does he let her go to school now that he's out of prison? There was this new professor that was casted for season 3, and we don't actually know what she'll be teaching. It may be to replace Jabari, Rashad Tate, if he goes back into politics, or even replace Carrie if she is killed off or leaves, so let's wait and see. But this is what we need to see, the interaction between Lorenzo and Drew, because notice how we've seen Diana visiting Lorenzo, we've seen Cane visiting Lorenzo in season 1, but we haven't actually seen Drew interacting with his father yet. Similarly to how we never saw much of Kanan and Lulu's relationship in raising Kanan. But this is about to change in the second half, because we all know that Lorenzo will have different role for the kids compared to Monet, especially Drew. In season 1 episode 3, it was made clear that he sees Drew as the natural successor because Kane's too unpredictable and Monet's way too attached to Diana. And to be honest, Monet's head isn't even in the game this season, so we're gonna see Drew and Lorenzo's relationship really pick up, and him telling his father that he needs to eliminate the threat. So who's the threat? Because surely they're not talking about Mecca, so I think it's someone else. I don't think it's Lil Guap either, because Lorenzo's made it clear plenty of times before. He owes his father Big Guap for taking a bullet for him, so I think we're gonna start to see him working with Lorenzo again. Now, there was this small teaser that was released with Diana bringing her papi some breakfast in bed, completely forgetting about Monet. And you could tell in this scene, Monet's lost control of her family already. Kane smiling at her thinking, with Lorenzo being back home, he'll have more of a position in the family business, but little does he know. And Monet really does look confused, with a mix of a lot of emotions, with Lorenzo being home, because this is not what she was expecting. If Mecca didn't come back into her life, I think she would have welcomed Lorenzo coming home. Even though she likes control, she would have been okay with Lorenzo. But you can see it with the decision making, her head not being in the game, her look that she has on her face in this scene. Mecca has completely messed her thought process up, and you can tell. But with Lorenzo now being home, it's going to contribute with Monet facing a new world order within her own family. Drew's going to be playing a position which Monet didn't want him playing. We saw her babying Drew and really protecting him, but it's going to be the complete opposite with Lorenzo. We're going to see Diana really stepping up to Monet and talking back to her, so we're going to see her really losing control over her family. And this is what she loves the most. She loves control. If she's not got control, then Monet's not Monet. And this is why I think we're going to see her falling back and doing the last thing she wanted, which is to work with Cane. Because both Cane and Monet, they're going to be in the same boat. They're going to find themselves being pushed aside by Lorenzo as the new world order begins to grow. And as well as this, I think we're going to see Monet trying to help Tariq because she'll realize she needs him, because she's losing control over her family. So I really wouldn't be surprised if we even see Monet posting Tariq's bail. But how? With what money? Let's wait and see. But what about Monet and Lorenzo's relationship? There are so many secrets between the two, and she clearly doesn't look happy at his welcome home party, and Lorenzo doesn't trust Monet either. I'm just waiting until the day he finds out about her secrets, and that's her past relationship with Mecca and Zeke being their son, because this is the moment we're really going to see the start of Lorenzo versus Mecca. I don't think Lorenzo will want to do business with Mecca either, with Cane being the plug, because it seems like he's someone who will want to know who he's doing business with, and definitely he won't want to do business when he finds out the truth about Zeke and Mecca. So this whole situation with the Tejadas is really a ticking time bomb. It's going to take that one secret to be released, and it's going to be chaos. But what about Tube, Cristobal and Roberto? These are 3 characters that have been listed for ghosts on IMDb, but we still haven't seen any of them. Tube and Roberto, they've also been listed for Power Book 4 Force, and there has to be a reason. Cristobal is said to be in jail, so I wonder if Tariq meets him while he's in there, but the other 2, I think they will pop up in due time as well. And that's episode 6 in a nutshell. So drop all your predictions down below, and I'll be back with my review and recap as usual. So if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 2 Ghost and Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.